Hello everyone, it's Geisha. Welcome back. I know it's been a while, but it was a busy summer. But I've been thinking about this video for quite a while and I finally know how I'm gonna go about it. And in the meantime, I see that I've acquired a lot more subscribers. That made my channel reach 1,000 and some subscribers. I thank you very much for subscribing to my channel and I hope you like the content that I have for you. So today we're gonna talk about glue. So everybody has glue in a house and everybody uses certain glue for certain projects. Here are kind of the glues that I use on a somewhat regular basis. So I'm going to talk about the glue that I use and also I'm going to show you why I use it and how I apply it. And so let's start with the glue stick. Everybody has a glue stick in the house. I grew up in the Netherlands. I grew up with the Pritt stick. Then I moved to Canada and the Elmer and the Yoo-Hoo are the most readily available here. And the other day I found this online. So I figured, I'm going to buy some to see how they look compared to the other two. So I made a little card. I'm going to glue a bit of the glue stick on here and then we can see how they are gluing out because they're not all the same. So we'll do the Pritt first. I have a silicone mat here that I will use if I am a bit messy. And I use dark paper so that you can see it. So it has some streaking, but it is pretty even and I'm pretty sure you can actually move this around a little bit so that you don't have bumps and stuff on here. Then we're going to do the Yoo-Hoo. Same thing. So I find the Yoo-Hoo behaving pretty much the same as the Pritt stick. And now we're going to use Elmer's. I don't know if you can see it, but Elmer's is a lot smoother. I don't know how to say that. I don't know if you can see there's like kind of ridges going on over here. You don't have that over here. I can see that if you're using Elmer's that you have to be quicker about it because it might dry quicker. I would use a glue stick to glue paper to paper, paper to cardstock, paper to cardboard, and that's about it. Anything heavier I would use a different glue for, so I will apply glue on the back all around and I would put this over here so that it gets a nice white border. Well, everybody knows how to use a glue stick, so that's a glue stick. So in the end I would say that the Elmer's is denser and that the Pritt and the Yoo-Hoo have a little looser consistency when they are being glued out. Next up is the liquid glues. Here I have the Craft Medley from my local dollar store, Elmer's Glue All, which I'm pretty sure most of you are familiar with. This is a PVA medium and this is Aleene's Tacky Glue. These two glues act very much the same. They feel the same, they behave the same, and it's just a matter of where you can find glue at a better price. PVA medium is water soluble and this one is waterproof when dry. So that's the difference between this one and these two. Aleene's Tacky Glue is not as runny as these three. It's a lot more syrupy and it takes a lot more for it to come out. And it doesn't spread as well as these three. I also put all these glues in a smaller bottle. This is how it goes, I think. Aleene's. Yeah, you better label everything because otherwise you're going to get confused. It's a lot easier to work with a small bottle. The glue comes out a lot quicker. If it has to travel a long distance, it takes longer. And depending on the spout, you might get a bigger blob on your paper. I would use this the same way as I would use a glue stick. I would glue paper to paper, paper to cardstock, and paper to cardboard. The only thing with this is because I have them in a smaller spout, I can be more specific about where I want the glue. I don't have to smear it out as much. And I glued them all down on a dark piece of cardstock so that you can see how they look. And the dollar store and the Elmer's, they look very much the same. Aleene's Tacky Glue is a little tacky and the PVA medium is a little more runnier than these two. I've done this about 5 minutes ago and you can see that this is already drying. We're going to wait for this to dry and then we can see how they look when they're dry. Not all glue hides when it is dry. Certain glues have a glossy finish and when you're not careful about gluing your item down, you might see glue around the edges. And again, I glued these 4 images down with the School Glue, Elmer's, PVA and the Aleene's. The Aleene's has like ridges on the back because the glue is a lot thicker, so you cannot smooth it out as well. Also, as you can see, this is now warped, and that is what liquid glue does compared to a glue stick. I will put this to the side and I will bring out the next set. So here I have my special glues, I would say. This is a matte medium. This is usually used by painters to add to their paints to extend their open time, or I don't really know what they're using it for. I'm using this as a glue, and this I use when I collage, which means you add papers to a bottom layer and you make a nice layout. So let's do that. I'll put this a little bit over to the side, and I will do a small collage. So I have a few papers here that I'm gonna glue down just for the fun of it. First, you're gonna pour glue on your paper. This was way too much. See if I can be quick about it and use it all. Then I'm gonna just glue something down. And with collaging, you would go over it as well. And that's why I like the matte, because it doesn't give a shine to the finished. I'm gonna glue this over here, and I'm gonna put this over here. And you always want to add glue on top. So this is kind of drying already. I will add some to my brush. A little piece like here. And how about some music papers in the bottom? And it is important to use a little bit more than you need, because you want it to be glued down. You don't want it to come loose. And this can go over here. Now this is cardstock, and I don't know if you see this, but it comes up. This needs a lot more glue. So this might need some extra attention. And I will add this to it and over here. And because this is thin paper, I can just glue it down there. Okay, now I'm gonna let this dry, take it off of here, and then I will trim it to size. Next is regular gel matte, and I use this to glue cardboard to cardboard or chipboard to chipboard. And I'll show you, this is a regular Kleenex box that I often use for storage. I'll take the plastic out, clip in the four corners, and open one up. I'll just take this off, and I would use my finger and I would smear this on here. Now this is older. I can already tell that a lot of the liquid has evaporated, but you can see how dense this is. I gotta work quickly. I will add some water to this later, and then I can use it again as regular gel matte. So, and now I would fold this in, and I will use clothespins to hold this down because it will come up, and I will let this dry for a few hours. So here we have heavy gel matte. It's heavier and thicker than the regular gel matte that I used just before. And I would use this to glue items down, as in the wooden butterfly I have here, or a metal dragonfly, or a stone, this is from clay, button. I'm gonna add these 3 beads to this card here, and I will use heavy gel matte to glue it down. So I would grab a bit of heavy gel matte, dab it on the bead, and preferably I don't want to see it once it's down. And I want it to come down like so. So one is going to go here. So I'm going to put it over here. And the next one. Just a nice dollop. Kind of want it to go under there. And one more. So each one is sitting in its own little blob of glue. I cleaned it up a little bit, and now I'm going to let this dry. This takes long to dry. I would not touch it until tomorrow morning. So I'm going to put this aside, and then we're moving on to the next glue. Here I have Fabri-Tac, and I bought this because people online were talking about it, and they were using it to glue fabric to paper. And so I bought it. This is acetone based, so it dries really fast, but it doesn't buckle anything. That's the only advantage of this glue, that it doesn't buckle anything, but it dries really quickly. And you can't really smear it out, so you have this big glue line. And I find that I can use Allinstake glue the same way, so I don't find I need to use this. It also takes a while before it comes down to the bottom to come out, and you can't really put it in a smaller bottle with a small hole because it doesn't want to come out there because it's so thick. And so I have it in the house, but I hardly use it anymore. Next I have Mod Podge Dimensional Magic, and it adds dimension, but it also does glue items to something else. So I have some, I don't know if you can see it, I have some beads here that I'm going to glue over here. So I will put some glue down. So I just make a little area here and drop my beads in. Not everything is in its place, so I will scoot this over so that everything is in the glue. And the other thing that you can use is it says Dimensional Magic, so I will add a layer on top of this word. and it's frosty now, but it will dry clear. I don't know if you can see it. This takes very long to dry. Again, I would wait for tomorrow to touch it, and then it will have a nice layer of shine on top. I don't know if you can see it. So that's how I use Dimensional Magic. The last glue I want to talk about is E6000. This is more of a repair glue, and if you have something break, you add glue to both sides of the item that you want to connect. Then you wait a minute, and then you push it together, hold for a few minutes, and then you let it sit for like 24 hours, and then it's good to go. And that's why I have this for. This I do not specifically use in my crafts, but it's more for repairing things. And I thought it would be interesting to be on the list. Now I want to show you one more thing. So these are all the glues that I just talked about. I glued a button with each glue to see how well it adheres. The button is frosty, as in it has a satin finish. So I figured all the glues will grab this, and if I tug on it, and this is from the dollar store, this is Elmer's, and I'm sure that if I pull hard enough, see, the glue is on the button, but the cardstock breaks, and all the buttons are on firmly. Then I wanted to see how shiny or satiny each glue is when it is dry. I'm not sure if you can see this on a camera. So the Yoo-Hoo, Elmer's, and Pritt, they're all drying matte, so you can't see them. The dollar store has a somewhat of a shine to it. Then Elmer's is quite matte. Aleen and PVA are both quite shiny. The PVA more so than the Tacky glue. Then the matte medium, of course, comes out matte. The gloss medium, of course, comes out gloss. And the mattes are both matte. And then the E6000, Mod Podge, Dimensional Magic, and Fabric Tack are all shiny when dry. Then I thought, what if I glue a bead on here? Because a bead is shiny, the glue might not grab it, but they're all on here. And I'm pretty sure that if I pull on it, the cardstock will break. And I thought it quite interesting that you can glue three-dimensional things with all the glues. Just don't attach it to something that has wear and tear on it. One more note on these cards. I follow someone on YouTube that does a challenge, and I followed it for a little bit, so I made these little altered playing cards, and I had fun with it. And I might go back and do a few more when I feel like it later. This I will let dry for tomorrow, and then I will have a look and see how adhered it is. So that was it for today, and if you have any questions about any glue, leave a comment down below, and I hope you enjoyed the video, that it was useful, and we hope to see you in the next video. Take care, bye!